feel like I'm fumbling.
Oh my goodness, ladies. Can you believe it's Saturday again?
It
I'm
is
so
Saturday
happy.
again.
Can you believe
Yeah.
it's Saturday again?
Again, yes,
They
yes.
come right
Holiday
back.
weekend.
Wow. And we've been doing this coming live inside of this group for a couple of weeks now, right? We're kind of new to being live, new to even speaking on any type of platform, right?
Yes,
Um, it took a long time because we've been in business for a little bit, right, girls?
Oh
yeah.
yes. Yeah.
Now, I am here with my besties. I got to tell you that, but they're also my business partners. I'm here with Miss Lisa Haran, and she is in Arizona. And I'm here with Miss Kimberly Byfield, and she is actually in Massachusetts. Really nice area too.
Right.
And my name is Lavanya Carrington, and I reside in Texas. I'm in New Braunfels, Texas, a huge state, right? So I
Mm.
can give you a little bit of that. So just know that I'm glad you're listening, first of all. I know that we usually don't have a whole bunch of people joining us live. So we'll just talk like you're there, right? But when you listen, go ahead and let us know, if you caught us live, put a 1 in. If you're watching the replay, put a number 2 in. Let us know. And if you have any questions, you can also leave those right there and we'll make sure that we get them answered for you, right? You'll notice that being a part of this group that we don't really put a time on when we're going to go live on Saturday. It's because we're always doing something major. There's always something going on. We're launching this, we're launching that. We're advocates. We work in a lot of different capacities. But it took us a while to get there, right? And so, I'm not coming from any type of authority or anything like that. I'm just coming from the side of a deep thinker, right? Giving you another perspective on, how to just be a little bit more successful in what it is that you're already doing, right? And so, like I said before, I had to find my voice. And woo, it took a long time. I really had to believe in me. I had to, just do a lot of things out of my comfort zone that I wouldn't normally do, which is what? Stand up and talk. Stand up and, speak about all the different things that I've been reading. I am a researcher. I research and read everything. So let me tell you, I've been on this journey for quite a few years. So it's just amazing to now be able to express myself a lot better,
Mm.
right? And so that's what we want to show women. We want us to get back to our feminine power and really, really hone into that, right? So if that's something that you're looking to do, is that something that I don't know, need to just brush up on that skill of finding your power when you need to. Go ahead and grab it, right? We're going to show you. We'll talk a little bit about business, what it is that we do and why we do it, right? And then I'm going to do a breathing exercise that's going to allow you to come out of that shell that we
Right.
put ourselves in, right? How are you today? Fine. No, you're not, right? So if you've ever been guilty of saying I'm fine when someone asks you how are you doing, this might be for you, right? This might just be for you. Um,
Definitely.
I'm a Reiki master. I've been studying Reiki for almost 15 years now. It's so funny. I did the timeline the other day, and I was like, "Whoa! I should know more.
Yeah.
I should know more, right?" But
Wow.
Always learning. Always
the
learning.
funniest thing is, I probably know more than I think I do. Do you know what I mean?
She's an
Yeah.
amazing healer. I can contest that. I mean, I
Oh,
can I can attest to that.
Yes.
Yes.
thank you, thank you, thank you. And I've recently been doing emotional techniques, emotional freedom techniques, right? I can't even say the name yet, right? But I've recently learned how to tap into acupuncture points that will assist with bringing out your personality so much more effective, more efficiently, right?
Love it.
It's so funny because we talked about, we had a great call yesterday. We talked about how it just makes sense to be in some type of system of building, meaning you don't have to have all the answers all the time, right? When you place your energy, that's what it is, right? When you've placed your energy of work into a system, it allows for it allows you to collapse time, There's so many different things. It allows you to connect with people of like-minded, of course, right? That want to help you. They want more for you. A lot of times they'll see things in you that you haven't seen in yourself, right? And that was my experience when I placed my energy into a system of wealth, right?
Mhm.
Just many aspects of that. And I know Kimberly wanted to talk a little bit about that. Kim, what's your take on putting your energy in some type of system? Or Lisa, whoever wants to jump in.
Well, it allows you, by having a system of people to work with, it runs automatically, even when you're not actually working as hard as you would.
Mm-hmm.
And it allows you to stay in your strength. Like, you don't have to know everything, and you don't have to be the expert on everything. When you have a system and you work with a group of people or network of people,
Mm-hmm.
you're allowed to, say, I don't know that, but I do have a partner, or I have someone that I can call, and they know everything about that. So let's do that. So
Mm,
you have the ability to tap into experts at any time about anything. It's almost like when you can attest, like, kind of liken it to a hospital where there are a team of specialists. So there's a brain surgeon, a heart surgeon, there's like a team of people, social workers. They
right.
don't all have to know every aspect of the body and the mind, but as a team, they can come together and address every issue that's going on. And that's what working in a system is like.
Different.
It's freeing. It's you can get a lot more done with a lot less of your own time, because we all don't have to be a lawyer. We all don't have to be the doctor. We all don't have to have all these different expertise. But like Lavanya may know more about building. Lisa may know more about booking destinations or something. And then I may have a skill as well. So we don't have to all have all the wealth of knowledge to progress together, but together we're a formidable force. So I think it's great.
Yeah, yeah,
What do you
yeah.
think, Lisa?
I do, and I'm really happy that we're talking about this, and it kind of goes back to our belief system. That is a system that many of us didn't even realize we had. So we're working on this system that you're talking about, but it's our belief system, and it it's kind of like a file cabinet when you think about it.
Mm,
So we get some beliefs from our families.
Mhm.
We may pick some up from our friends here and
mhm.
there, little conversations we have. And then just thinking about that whole community that we grew up with, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Had some factor on our belief systems, which is why some of us think we got to know everything,
Right.
because that's a belief that we have when we are in the workforce. We got to know as much as we need to know about our position,
Mm,
because it's replaceable.
Right.
See, it's replaceable. Our
right.
position is replaceable. So, in that culture that we grew up in, learning our behaviors and the different patterns that get shared from our moms
Wow,
and
I
get
love that play on words. Culture.
Culture.
culture,
Cult.
because it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kim, I didn't grow up the way you grew up, and we could have lived on the same street.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
happened in our households? Totally different.
Right.
Totally different.
Right.
So it's a culture within
Right.
our household. And
Right.
yeah. So we all come from that. But if just kind of listening and thinking about that belief system, like, and it's a cycle. So the belief is I'm not good enough for
mm,
a lot of things. That's why when I talk to people, I just asked somebody, this gentleman who's I'm looking for a second job because they cut my hours. He works at the airport. They had laid him off. Of course,
oh,
he was
wow.
told, well, I'm looking for a second job because they got me working 25 hours. This gentleman's almost 60 something.
Oh,
So
goodness.
I said to him, have you ever considered having your own business? He gave a very limited belief. Do you know what it was?
What?
I'm not computer savvy.
Oh,
Is
and
that
we
the
know
only thing holding you back?
Right. Right.
we know billionaires
So
are computer savvy and they have
I
successful
said, I
businesses.
said,
Yeah.
99.9% of the time I'm working from a cell phone. And we are talking on your cell phone right now, which I know you know how to work.
Wow.
But that was my thought. I didn't even try to change it because if that's all that's holding you back, that's not a boulder at all. But
Right.
we really make it big. So that's the belief. I'm not good enough. I don't know how, blah, blah, blah. The thought is I can't do it. So I can't become computer savvy.
Mm.
Limited thinking, that limited thinking.
Limited. Okay.
Right.
But if you okay, all right. And then the feelings of worthy enough, is it even worth it to even try now? I'm 60, almost 60 years old, so why bother?
Colonel Sanders was 60 when he started
Girl,
KFC,
he's
right?
one of my favorites. 65
Hmm.
when he said, "Oh, this check is not enough." But here you
Mm-mm.
are, almost 60, willing to get a second job.
Mm.
Does that even
Doesn't compute for
think
me.
it
Well, you
doesn't?
know what? It's the autopilot that they place us
Yeah.
on, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
Um,
Yeah.
what is it? Your dominant thoughts
Yeah.
are basically what you do every day. So if you're getting up and you're going to work for what? If he's 60, he's been doing it for at least 40 years, right?
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Plus, yeah, because
in
sometimes
his,
you grow up working in the field somewhere, you
absolutely.
know?
In his
Yeah.
experience, there is nothing else, right? And so
That's
that's why,
true.
it's so easy for me to talk to people, bring people into a system that I know works.
Right.
And especially for the younger generation.
Oh, yes.
Um,
Yeah, because they haven't been programmed as much as we have.
yeah, well, they haven't yet, but they trust their parents.
Right.
They trust their parents are gonna.
That culture, there we
Right.
go.
They
They
trust
have
their
their own.
parents are
Yeah.
going to be their sounding board when it
Right.
comes to finances, if that makes sense.
Or security blanket.
Yeah,
What they know.
well, at
What
least
they
that
know.
sounding board, because if your mother tells you, "Oh yeah, that's a good job," right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You better not leave that job, right?
Don't
Right,
leave the
right,
house. Don't you
right,
leave the
right.
Something
house.
that it's something that you learned to be proud of, right?
Yeah,
You're,
right,
you're
right.
proud of it. It's taking care of what it needs to take care of, but
Right.
but it's limiting,
Yeah, absolutely.
right?
Every job is limiting.
And so when people start to think of, have I settled, for mediocrity, after about maybe 3 or 4 years being in a position, some people get it a little bit sooner, like me, right? But
Yeah.
but there comes a point where you're like, okay, I'm using all of my energy to build wealth for this company or this building, this person, my manager, my supervisor, right? You're always having to answer questions,
Mm.
But
just simple as, what took you so long in the bathroom? Have you ever had that question asked?
oh my
Yep,
God.
I have actually.
But
Okay.
here's the thing.
Yeah, I thought that
Only
was very, very odd. It happened to me. It was years, many, many moons ago.
wow.
But it's just really weird. Log off your computer to go to the bathroom. And then if your time isn't right when you log back in, there's a discussion.
There's a discussion
We need
with
to,
a grown woman.
we
You're a
need to
grown
talk about
woman.
it.
You're not a child.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
here's the thing, Lavanya. It's only about 1% of the people that really sit at the desk and say there's got to be a better way, that say all the things you just said in terms of why am I building this when I got so many skills and ideas and things that I could actually take a leap on faith. And that goes back into that belief system of actions. Do I do something about this, or do I just let it go?
Right.
Or keep doing that thing, keep getting up, coming here, knowing I hate it, knowing but it's a job. I'm so grateful.
Well, you
Thank
know what?
God.
But
Thank God I got a job, right?
the good thing about a job is that, yeah, it's going to help you pay some bills,
Absolutely.
right? But don't get it twisted that it's going to allow you to become wealthy. Just don't.
But see that now let's talk about that.
Mhm.
Because of your belief system, you may be fearful of being wealthy. I was.
Listen, I wish I had the percentages. I looked it up the other day of Americans that make over $100,000. I'm so mad that I don't have it, so I'm not going to say anything. But it was a very low number.
Exactly.
It was,
$100,000.
it was
It's
very.
not a lot of money.
No,
Not here in Massachusetts.
No.
for me, the percentage was astonishing, right? So
Because
yeah, and so it's so easy to talk to people about something else. What else? I think it's funny. I have asked people periodically. You know, what is it about you? What is it? What is it about you? What have you decided to make your number one skill that you're going to sharpen in your life? Right, your own personal skills. Crickets.
Mm,
It's always about their current position,
yep.
not about what they're doing personally,
right.
right?
Hmm.
Is that because a lot of people only listen to what people have told them? Does that make sense?
It's a program. I mean,
Question.
most
They
people
don't,
have
they
not
don't need
been
for
groomed.
themselves to get informed.
Most people have been groomed to become an employee and to work for others and to be told what to do. We weren't groomed to be self-motivated thinkers, to go out there and live your dream. That just wasn't what most of us were trained to do, unless your parents were out of the box thinkers and they were innovators and trailblazers. It really was go to school, get a good job, get a good education, get a skill, and
It's
work for this
still
great
that way
company.
though.
And it
It's
is.
still
And
that way.
it's sad because these companies aren't loyal to the employees at all. I
No.
mean, you could drop dead at your desk
Yeah.
and they will sneak your body out the back door and
Give
have
you
you
the bag. They're
posted the
gonna get
same
your
day.
bag and put your stuff in it. All that. No, that's
There's no
ours.
more gold watches and retire with a pension. They don't even match your 401k anymore. I remember when I got into the workforce,
It's
they
hard to
would match your
find.
401k to help you towards your retirement. Now you're
Yeah.
kind of on your own, and there's no guarantee that you're going to have a retirement at
Now
the end of
that's
it.
a real good job if you can get them to match your 401k, girl.
That was
That's
back
a
in the
real
day.
good
I had
job
a job
today.
like that, but
Yes,
they're
if you
not.
can
They don't exist.
they don't exist like that no
I
more.
didn't realize that. Huh.
Don't
No,
exist.
no. But it doesn't matter to the person who's making $13 an hour, who's almost 60 years old, be it because they need the income and still can't afford to do anything.
And
So
it's sad.
it's
It's
really
sad
sad.
that people are, and a lot of limited thinking comes from the fact that they don't have what it takes to expand their vision. Or like the other day, someone that I'm close to, I they like to drive fast, and I was like, let's go test drive a Ferrari.
Hmm.
And they looked at me and they was like, we can do that? And I was like, absolutely. I
Yes.
said, I drive a car that was expensive, well, relatively expensive, depending, it's a like $80,000 vehicle. And 2 years ago, Lavanya and I started going to the dealerships and just smelling the cars and looking at them, picking
Yep.
out the color we
Yeah.
want and sitting in them and feeling them and saying, I want one with this and that, getting the books. And 2 years later, I own the car and I have the title. I own it. And
Hmm.
I think
Nice.
imprinting yourself on the things that you want to attract and have is an important aspect of materializing it, because if you're not exposed to the things that you want and desire, how are you going to know? So I
Exactly. And
think,
they be scared to do that. They're like,
right,
I could never own nothing like that. Like, why not?
Right.
and
Why?
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
it's possible, and it's just like
it
you
is.
just have to go put, like, we went to tour mansions the other day.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
and in my mind now, I'm calculating what can I switch around financially to get that one and not have to
exactly.
pay more than what I'm paying right now for my mortgage. Like, they were beautiful homes. I mean, way more beautiful than the home that I have. But all I'd have to do is sell this, roll it over into that, and maybe like I could figure out a way to own that home.
Right.
But unless I go and see it, walk in it, get some numbers, I have no idea how to
You have
get
no
it.
What's
idea.
possible?
So my thinking, because of my system and the people that I'm involved with, has evolved to the point where I have way more possibilities than I did prior. I mean, I grew up as a kid that dreamt. I wasn't that ordinary person,
Right.
not normal. Like I was in high
Yeah.
school, conquered watches that cost thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands. Like I
Right.
wasn't a normal person, and I didn't. People would look at me like, "Who the heck does she think she is?" But I never let the fact that I wasn't a wealthy kid from a wealthy family
Mm-hmm.
stop me from wanting and liking nice things, you know.
Right.
But as I've gotten older and have been around people that have manifested their dreams, I
Mm-hmm.
see that it's limitless. Like why should I limit my wants and desires based on my zip code or who I grew up with or you know the program
Exactly.
I got? Because a lot of people that grew up like us came from descendants of people who had nothing
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
they were told what to do. So their thought pattern is get an education, get a good job, because they had no control over their life. They didn't have control over what they ate, where they lived,
Yeah.
who they
Yeah.
married, where anything. And
Right.
we have to stop limiting our thoughts because we are powerful. And if we just
Gotcha.
turn on that reticular activating system that we have and
Yep.
start to
Yes.
focus on the things that we want, you would
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
surprised how they come to you and how things start to materialize in your life.
Well, what also is the biggest issue is that they don't realize is that what they have right now is also what was manifested. I had no idea
Right.
that I
Hmm.
was manifesting my current situation.
Yeah.
Right, right.
So
Yeah.
So,
total,
yeah,
total different world. And as they say, if you're not learning, you're not growing. So if
right.
you're not learning about these systems, because belief plus repetition, something you continue to
Yep.
do, becomes identity, that it just equals identity. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I did want to touch on shyness real quick because let's take that for example, right?
Uh-oh. Okay.
Yes, let's talk about shyness
The
real
whole
quick.
shyness. Woo.
So I'm born. I don't know jack about shyness. I just know I have my needs and they need to be met,
Right.
Mm.
right? And
Babies
they
aren't shy.
thank you. So now somebody, I remember the day my mother said it. Somebody said, an adult said hi to me. And I want to say I just kind of stepped, we were holding hands, kind of stepped back. I see kids do it all the time, right?
Yeah.
Kind of stepped back into my mom because I didn't want to speak.
Right.
So she said, oh, she's shy.
Ooh.
I was
Mhm.
probably 3, 4, maybe 5. So I grew kind of into that shyness
Oh, wow, Lisa.
because
It's
Good point.
it's
clearly I
amazing that
wasn't.
you remember that experience.
Yes.
I
Right.
wish I
So
knew where mine came from. Go ahead.
I was not the jump off the sofa kind of kid ever. Yes, I sat my behind down. I never acted shy at home. So you know how they say animals and children
Mm.
vibe off of people.
Right. It wasn't that you were shy. You didn't like the energy given off from that particular person.
Or guess what? I had the right to not speak back.
Right.
Right.
So where
Right.
did we get it? It's rude. They only said hi.
Right.
Mm.
If I acknowledge you even with eye contact as a child, that's enough.
Right.
But we would say, no, they're shy. And I said, well,
Mhm.
maybe she said it too, just to say something. Oh,
Well,
she's shy, just to not seem rude
to
because
Well,
dismiss, yeah, to
the
dismiss your
important,
behavior.
the important part about that is that you caught it.
I
You
got
know what I mean? And it could have been said prior to that time that you actually caught it, right?
exactly.
But you caught it that time, and it's
I caught it that
unfortunate
time.
that we're programmed in the
Totally
smallest
programmed.
ways. We have no idea, right? Um,
That
how
culture. That happens.
How did we get that idea that I'm shy? How?
Right.
How did we get
Right. Because my daughter Erica, for instance, she is such a loner. And you guys can attest to that. I mean, as a child, only 4 people could really hold her.
Hmm.
Like she would only go to 4 people, individuals in her life. And right now, she stays to herself. She's quite fine.
Yeah.
She's not like, I'm not concerned about her being like depressed or anything, but she operates the best when she's kind of isolated. But I don't see her as being shy,
Right.
if you get what I mean, you
You just
know?
don't want to be bothered. And
Yeah,
that's
she
just
is
that.
a loner.
Alone.
Yeah. Ron was she didn't like half my family to hold her.
Oh.
So, and that's just the
And
way
it's
it
a
is.
vibration, it's an energy because even animals, like some animals, like
Yeah.
love lasagna. Dogs love lasagna, certain dogs. And I
Oh.
don't care how vicious they are, but she has such a calming, pleasant aura or spirit. I don't know what it is, but things love her. Like animals love her. She has
Yeah.
a calming effect on animals that we would probably be afraid of, like Rottweilers and
Yeah.
just big vicious
Bobcats.
dogs. We're afraid of them, but they are calm for her.
I have,
Right.
I have wild animals that want to follow me around.
Yes, yeah,
It's
and it may be a vibration or energy because everything has a vibration. So
It does. I had no idea. See, I used to be scared of dogs, and immediately they would just go off. I had no idea that was the vibrate. I mean,
yeah,
of course, I'm showing it because I'm like, oh my God.
right,
right,
right.
I had no idea. Like, before I would notice them, of course, they knew me.
Mm.
And so that was the worst. Now that I'm working on my energy and vibrations and all, we have a whole different relationship. I'm like,
right.
well,
Isn't
plus
it?
I live in a whole different area where the dogs are different. Let's talk about that too if we need
Yeah.
to. But anyway, I'm just saying it's a whole
Mm,
different relationship. So
right.
anything we want, bottom line is we can change it. And I was looking at my card today,
What card is
and I
that?
was like,
What card is that?
Planet marketing.
that is the card, girl. And I was looking at it, I was like, oh, I really cannot have it say independent anymore. And I was like, you can change it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can change it. So, yes, that kind of day.
You can change
I
whatever
can
you
Anything.
change
want. You
whatever
can.
I want.
Oh my goodness, we really can't.
Whatever I want.
Because what we look at in the mirror right now is the result of every decision we made prior.
Right.
And you have the ability to change the trajectory of where you're going.
Yeah,
And all it is a thought. It's a thought and then putting it into action.
it's a
Yeah.
thought. It's a
It's a
thought.
thought.
It's
It's
amazing.
a thought.
Yeah.
And then and then backing it up with some action to get you to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Write down your
Oh,
goals. Like
speaking
you
of
have to
energy,
write
real
them
quick.
down.
And dogs, real quick, it just hit me. So the other
Uh-huh.
day, I was taking a walk and never had an issue with dogs before. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, 2
Oh,
Rottweilers come out.
my
Ooh.
favorite.
And I mean, they were twins. They were absolutely beautiful. And I think that was my first thought when I saw them,
That's what it
was
was.
how pretty they were.
Mhm.
That I didn't even have time to get scared. But of course, I still kind of made my way to the side street. But they were loose.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And we had a good, like I said, a good relationship. So that just, girl, because it could
Meaning
have
they
been
didn't follow you.
a whole nother scene, right?
That they didn't follow you. Is that what it was?
No, right? So, girl, so yeah, I'm working on my energy because I can change it.
Good. Very good. Very good. It's so funny. I can go on and on about conversations with dogs.
Right.
Like literal conversations. Like they listen to me. It's the weirdest thing.
Wow.
Dogs used to show up in my yard and I'd come out and greet them and how you doing? And now you got to go home. It's mommy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they would turn around and go back home. Right? So
Nice.
it's funny that you had that experience. Yeah. I love
Yeah.
Rottweilers. Really do. And so how do we do all this, right? How do we find our voice? How do we allow those dormant places inside of us to shine, right? How have we been able to do that? It's amazing how I speak to people all the time, and the confident level is extremely low. And so it's, I guess if you have a mindset of being someone that, you're not ready to start your business yet. Let's do that. Let's do it gently, right?
Sure.
You've never thought of starting a business yet. You're not ready to do it yet. I guess if you have that mindset, there's a lot of stuff that you really don't need to know and don't need to do and don't need. So, when we have these conversations, they're not for everybody.
Right.
If you're okay, if you're happy with, I don't want to say mediocrity, because if you're happy with it, then you're happy with it, right?
And you're happy with it.
Yeah. But if there's a chance that you're not making enough and you don't feel fulfilled, right? If you don't feel fulfilled, it's all about our feelings, right? If you are starting to feel burnt out and things like that, I never realized that I was always going to have a sense of unfulfillment or sense of burnout because my income didn't match the amount of work that I was putting in.
Right.
Let's talk about it. Tell it.
So as an engineer, right, just know that, as an engineer, right, I was doing infrastructure for new construction. Money was great, right? But it just wasn't enough.
Right.
It just wasn't enough, right? Being up on utility poles, when you see people in those different positions, I think we put a number in our head saying how much their time is worth, basically, right? How much should they be making? In my mind, I should have been making at least 3 times the amount of money that I was making to be on call all the time, right?
Because it's only about your body and
it's not valuable.
Yeah, it just wasn't enough. And so for me, I needed to find a better way. I needed to find a different way. So if that's you and you're looking for a different way, one of these women can help you. It doesn't matter who you connect with. If you feel connected to Kimmy, give her a text, send her a message. If you feel connected to Lisa or myself, send a message to us if you want a little bit more information. But the great thing about getting more information is that we are giving away getaways.
Yes.
We have
everybody wants one, I know. And everybody's homebound. We're ready to get out of here.
Post-pandemic on us, absolutely.
So this would be for that imminent travel boom that is coming soon. We have 3-day getaways. I'm going to post a little bit about it when we get off of this, so so you can get that information. But yeah, we have to grab our superpowers. We have to be better. We have to do better. Is it easy? Not necessarily. It's easy if you're open.
Right.
It's hard if you are closed.
Nearly impossible.
Nearly impossible. Absolutely impossible if you are not open to finding more about you, that inner you, right? And so we do certain things on a daily basis. That consistency that Lisa talked about a little bit. We don't forget to breathe and we don't forget to rock, right? And that's one of the things that we do in the life. Inside of In the Life, we're always talking about breathing effectively for our energy to flow, right? Through our kundalini, allow our kundalini to rise, right? So we can be more effective with whatever we're doing, right? If you be the best homemaker that you want to be, right? Whatever it is. So, excuse me. I think this might be a good transition time to go into something about breathing and
Yes.
just kind of getting ourselves together.
Perfect time.
So we're going to, I want everyone to go ahead and I'm going to move this a little bit. Oh, you know what? Let me do this. Okay, hold on. You can see me. I think I was trying to squeeze into the into the square, right? To make it more effective. That's not going to work. All right, everyone. It doesn't matter what time of day it is. You do want to kind of you want to think about when you first wake up in the morning and when you first go to sleep at night, right? What are your thoughts? What are your intentions? What are you calling forth into yourself, basically, right? Because just like Lisa said, we create everything. All
Right.
thoughts, everything that we've already done have led us to this point in our lives, right? So I want you to let's do just a few exercises. I'm going to keep it really simple, okay? So in order to be a little bit more open, we talked about being open and closed. If you want to be that person that's a little bit more open, I'm going to show you how to work your vision, okay? So your peripheral vision actually helps you with that, believe it or not. If you stretch your arms all the way out on both sides, open up your fingers, right? I want you to go ahead and keep your eyes looking straight, but your peripheral, I need your peripheral to look at your fingers. Interesting, isn't it, that you can see that far? Believe it or not, there are some people that can see all the way around to the back of them. It's pretty amazing. But it's a technique. If you do this year after year after year, and bringing your hands further back, right? Further back, you'll be able to see that. And what that's going to do is it helps you open up your aura. You're opening up your horizons, right? Just giving yourself a little bit more time to process things. It's very helpful if you're, I don't know, taking a new class or reading a new book, something you don't understand right away. It's going to help your brain to actually encompass those words and take them all in. So get ready. Get ready. That's all I can say, right? All right. So everyone, I want you to sit up straight. I want you to the area of your body that is your hips, down in your hips. Okay. I want you to think about your reproductive organs. All right. So this is going to bring out your feminine power. It's going to help you tap into your feminine energy, right? And it's going to help you bring out your feminine power. Men, you have feminine power too, okay? We can talk about that in another session. So this is not just for women. That area, I want you to squeeze it like it's a Kegel. Squeeze that area like you're doing, you're strengthening your muscles in that, right? Act like you're lifting weights at that point, okay? So keep that area really, really tight. I want you to, right now, I want you to just breathe easy. Go ahead and take some breaths in and out, in and out. Now just be a little bit more intentional with your breath. Think about your breath. Restrict your throat just a little bit so you can actually feel the breath going in and out, almost like you're creating sound, basically, right? Maybe you can hear it, right? We can't necessarily hear it, but maybe you can hear it. I want you to hear yourself breathing in and out, right? Now I want you to focus in on your heart. And if you need to put your hand on your heart to focus in on your heart, you can do that, right? Over here. If you need to do that, go ahead and put your hand on your heart, right? But if you don't have to. So as you're taking those intentional breaths, right, with that restricted airways, I want you to go ahead and allow that breath to go in and out your heart. Go ahead and feel that air going into your heart. Feel that air coming out of your heart, in and out. Just create sort of a rhythm for yourself. Create yourself some type of rhythm, right? Go ahead and do that. In and out, in and out. So as you're doing that, believe it or not, what's happening is you're connecting your heart to your brain. So your brain has all of the knowledge, and your brain is your protector, right? So your brain sometimes will move on your fears because it's trying to protect you, right? Because what do you need to be protected from? Something that you feel is a threat. So at this point where you're looking at this video and you're watching me, right? There is no fear. There is nothing for you to fear. So that way your brain can reverberate as if it was a part of your heart. I'm sorry. Now your heart will be able to reverberate as if it was a part of your brain. So right now you're putting it all into sync together. So just continue to breathe in and out, in and out. You can close your eyes if you want to. Just listen to my voice. Make sure you're feeling that air coming in and out of your heart. Now I want you to think of 3 things that you are grateful for. Just immense gratitude, right? Hold on to those things that you are grateful for. Go ahead. Did you know that it's totally impossible to think about gratitude and have any type of fear or anxiety in your life? So if you are, I don't know, that person that does, I don't know, speeches, right? Your personal speaker or professional public speaker, you're on the side of that stage, you actually can go ahead and start to breathe, start to get your brain and your heart in sync together so that way you can remember what it is that you have to do, right? How many times am I the only one that that can't remember a lot because I have so much going on in my head, right? So if you're that person that thinks a lot, you know, right now you're trying to meditate, but you're thinking about those dishes in the sink, right? If you're that type of person, this is really, really going to help you. It's going to get all of your thoughts in sync together, right? So it's amazing how your heart is always going to give you the truth. Okay, there's always going to be truth coming through your heart and connecting to your brain. And what this will do, just a small little exercise right here, will help you on a daily basis. It really will. All right, everyone, I want you to go ahead and you can open your eyes now. So now I want you to look at the floor. And now bring your eyes all the way up, all the way up, all the way up to the top of the ceiling. Look up. Okay, now you can look straight. Take a deep breath. And what that did was just lock it in. So now you will remember this exercise. That helped you to lock in this exercise, believe it or not. Now, in the room that you're in right now, go ahead and notice something in your room, something you haven't seen in a long time. And now one more thing, I want you to look at something else you haven't looked at in a while. Just notice it. Appreciate it, right? It's yours. And now go ahead and take another deep breath. And that's it. You are back. And how easy was that, right? Little simple things like that will put your body back in tune, put your power back in order, right? We become what we focus on. So get some affirmations, get some proclamations, whatever it is that you need to become whole again, right? To come out of your comfort zone, to step out and do something different, do something new. Use your energy. It's yours, right? Stop allowing people to program you and go ahead and program yourself. And this is the end. This is going to be the end of our webinar. We have been on for far too long, but I am so thankful and grateful for anyone that have come in to listen and get informed with us on this movement. So yeah, we will be back.
I love it. Love it. Love it.
All
Don't
right.
forget to rock, ladies.
Don't
Don't forget to
forget
rock,
to rock. All right.
educate, elevate, empower.
Absolutely.
Love
Yes.
you.
Love you too.
Love you.
Love my girls.
Yes. And
It's
we love
always
anybody and everyone that has taken the time to watch this video today.
absolutely. Empower
Definitely.
yourselves. Don't be afraid to grow.
Mhm.
Take those blocks out. It's an amazing experience to just let go of those inhibiting thoughts. Let them go.
Heal
Open
your,
up that mind.
heal yourself with your thoughts and your actions.
Yes.
Have a
Great.
great one.
Love
Bye.
it. Bye, ladies.
All right, ladies. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Yes.